Chelsea Football Club are readying their £150 million bid for Erling Haaland. As reported a number of weeks ago on the terrace, Chelsea were putting together an offer of £30 million plus £20 million of bonuses and performance-related add-ons. This has been confirmed this morning via Simon Phillips, as per the CFC news page across Instagram and social media, that this bid is being put together. It's also claimed that the current wages of circa £100,000 a week for Erling Haaland will be tripled if this deal to Stamford Bridge is confirmed. We're going to break down this confirmation news this morning that this bid is being lined up. There have always been encouraging signs from the Chelsea camp that Team Haaland wants to join, has been tempted by the move to Chelsea Football Club. Dean Jones confirmed to us that the view of Haaland joining Chelsea changed dramatically after the appointment of Thomas Tuchel, the progression of that team, and of course them becoming the champions of Europe for the second time in the last decade. We're going to delve into this in a lot more detail. Also going to touch on Manchester City's leaked email news that's around as well. Also give you a bit of an update on the Kane and the Varane situation as well. This is the Football Terrace. Hit that like button. Hit that share button. Our news has been confirmed again by more outlets. Here we go. Good morning. Welcome back to the terrace, everybody. Big Haaland news today. This comes from the CFC news page as shared by Simon Phillips. Of course, it gets its credibility being shared by the likes of Simon, who's one of the most respected Chelsea men, one of the biggest Chelsea reporters, bloggers, vloggers, podcasters in the game. And this echoes very much the news that the Football Terrace brought to you back on the 7th of July. Where we told you that, we had a number of conversations with some football people, a few agents and a few journalists who confirmed to us and told us that Chelsea were working on and putting together a bid worth £150 million, 30 million base offer with a potential of £20 million of add-ons. Of course, the Football Insider two days ago also confirmed this £130 million bid. This echoes very much what the likes of Jan Fjortoff and Fabrizio Romano have informed us about over the past few weeks, that an offer of 175 million euros, 150 million pounds could be enough. It could be that marker. Also, Patrick Berger, also that marker to see Dortmund accept things. It's now trending again this morning that this offer is going to be made. Of course, the Football Terrace brought this to you first, but it's beautiful now to see more and more accounts going down this line, and it seemingly looks like an offer is going to be made. This is all, of course, in conjunction with a very interesting tweet that came out last night from Fabrizio Romano, where he said that Haaland has no agreement on personal terms of any club. Now, we know that the wording around personal agreements has changed massively, absolutely massively when it comes to the situation with players agreeing terms. Last year, it was all personal terms are done, and that got shot down. So this year, it's personal terms are going to be no problem. So forget anybody that's telling you that personal terms are not agreed. There will not be a problem with Chelsea. But he then goes on to say that, but the real issue to sign Haaland this summer is Dortmund's position. Of course, in the past, he told us that 150 would be enough. Dortmund insist no official bid has been received from Chelsea yet. The yet is the key word in this from Fabrizio, yet. Dortmund expect this official bid to come in. He then went on to say not even discussions about players included in the deal. Well, of course not, because as we all know, everything that's gone on so far for Chelsea Football Club has been from intermediaries. There's been no direct contact in any way, shape, or form between Borussia Dortmund and Chelsea Football Club. But that doesn't mean that offers and approaches and informal bids haven't been made at this point. The due diligence and the level of work being made here by being done here by Chelsea has been absolutely brilliant. This will be, if it goes through, the biggest external transfer in the history of the Premier League. It's a legacy transfer. It will change the face of Premier League transfer fees forever. That isn't going to go away in any way, in any shape, or in any form. So it's always going to take time to be worked on. We're going to go to some of your comments here and then delve into a little bit more of this move here. C says, to be honest, Fabrizio only knows when it's a done deal, not when the deal is actually happening. So this can be true. To be honest with Fabrizio, I think it's more the case of Fabrizio's relationship with football clubs is growing. So Fabrizio will release the information to you that Chelsea Football Club or Borussia Dortmund or the camp of the player want to come out. He's very much building up. He's building up like international. He's building up the kind of loyalty with clubs, Fabrizio, that most local journalists have, where they stay very, very loyal to the teams. If you watch Fabrizio, he's so complimentary and kind to every single club. He won't do what I don't know. It could be a Liverpool journalist will stick it to Man United, and rightfully so, because their audience is Liverpool. His audience is global, so he's kind of spinning a lot of plates at the same time. So I think he's just holding back with what he knows, as far as I'm concerned. Let's go to a few more of these comments that are coming through here. So, as we said already in a tweet that we shared, talks are now advanced for Chelsea. They're at the point where it feels they're very, very close to submitting this. No one knows when or where they will. So, don't no journalist is going to be able to tell you that. It's a feeling that it's coming very, very soon. A lot of that comes from the encouragement from Team Haaland wanting this deal to go forward. Chelsea are never going to put this bid in unless they're 100% sure he's going to join. They've given the signs again that it's ready to move forward. The advanced talks have taken place with the intermediaries. They think this is the deal to get things done. When you start to break the deal down, this is where it becomes very, very interesting indeed. And we'll share this on the screen, of course, from the CFC news page. This is their information about this deal as opposed to mine. So I'm always going to share that as opposed to trying to take any kind of credit for it. But as you can see here, the bottom part is what I want to focus on, where it says, if the bid does get rejected by Dortmund, I'm told that Chelsea will go in with another bid worth 30 plus 20. So the first bid will be 130 million. Then they're going to put the 120 on top, which again marries in perfectly with exactly what we were talking about on the football terrace, that there was no way, there was no shape, there was no form that Chelsea Football Club were going to go straight in day one and bid 130. They're going to 150. They're going to do more. If the add-ons are to be included, now this is their news, slightly different from what we were told, but it all amounts to the same thing. He says the bonus will include 5 million for winning the Prem, 5 million for winning the Champions League, 5 million for a fixed number of appearances, and 5 million for a fixed number of goals scored at Chelsea. The feeling inside Chelsea is that they are confident that they will land Haaland this summer with, of course, that 150 million pound bid. And of course they should be, because that echoes very, very much. That echoes very, very much what the likes of Jan Fjørtoft and Fabrizio Romano have said when you put this story together. The only way this goes wrong now for Chelsea is if Dortmund, it's just all the information that's come out of Dortmund that this bid will be accepted is wrong. If Chelsea have used the same intermediary that told Manchester United last year that a 90 million pound bid in the deadline week would get the deal done, then there could be problems. If that's the intermediary that's leaked all this information to the journalists, then there could be a problem. But I find it strange that agents that I've spoken to and journalists that have no connection to Jan Fjørtoft and Fabrizio, what Fabrizio and Jan and Patrick Berger have said, coupled in with reports from various media outlets, people like CFC news page, Simon Jones only sharing the most credible of people that he can find. Simon Phillips, only sharing the most credible people he can find. And the fact that the Chelsea tier ones are very, very quiet, which tends to be the case when these big deals are at this stage, it tells me that this could very much be true. As I say, there's no skin off my nose if it isn't. I'm only relaying information that gets fed into me through relationships that we've built. But I do want your views and I do want your opinions on this morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to share the link now in the live comment section for you to phone up and for you to have your say. I know not everyone thinks these deals are going to happen. Not everyone thinks these deals are going to go through. But I do want your views and I do want your opinions. That link is now shared. Get your super chats in as well. But what's very important to the terrace today, of course, I'm very, very respectful for all the people that have quote tweeted us on Twitter and that have called out the fact that, we brought this news to everybody first. And not that that is the most important element here. I think what's important to me is very much just getting the news out to people and sharing it. But thank you very much to the likes of Monster. Thank you very, very much, Jake, on socials that, really called out that it isn't that we've got CFC news page. They've got slightly different news to us, but it amounts to the same thing. So thank you to all of the Football Terrace subscribers and members and followers that have called us out and given us our flowers today. It means a great deal to me. It does. Make sure that like button is, let's get this past 1,000 likes, please, ladies and gentlemen. Raphael Varane update coming as well for you now that I wanted to give to you. So there was a weird report I read yesterday on AS saying that Varane is uncomfortable as the talks continue between Madrid and Real Madrid and Manchester United with the signing to come. Hopefully, with the deal not quite being where they want it to be. This is simply not true. We're going to delve into this story a little bit more, a little bit later on today. But Raphael Varane to Man United is heading in the right direction. The slow progress is more because of Real Madrid, and we're going to release a video and some information about that a little bit later on today for you as we go through things. Chelsea fans, I want to hear from you on this deal right now. I want to know what you're thinking. I want to know what you're feeling. Happy, sad, indifferent. Not going to let yourself get too gassed straight away. Neil Driscoll here says, Terry, it's my birthday. Well, happy birthday to you, my friend. I hope you are good. I hope you are well. I hope you're having a wonderful day with friends and with family. I really, really do. Long-time viewer, long-time member of the Terrace. How is someone who's called so many stories a tap-in merchant? Why aren't other tap-in merchants as big as him? Listen, you all know me well enough to know that I don't give I don't give any rubbish or any nonsense to Fabrizio Romano in that way. He's an excellent, absolutely excellent journalist. We all know that he's an excellent journalist. He's a very, very, very nice guy as well. So I'd be, just let people, some people like him, some people don't. It's horses for courses. Do you know what I mean? It's horses for talkies. Terry, talk about QPR's 4-1 against United. Honestly, I think people that get stressed over preseason games, especially when the majority of the starting lineup are not going to play very many games this year, are full of youngsters, I think you're pathetic. And that's any club. I said it when everyone was moaning about Arsenal losing. I said the same thing, so I'm consistent, right? It just happens at the end of the day. I've seen Liverpool have terrible pre-seasons and win Champions Leagues and Premier Leagues. I've seen Man United have amazing pre-seasons and not make the top 4. It means very little in the grand scheme of things. And we're going to prove it this season before the season kicks off, we're going to look at everybody's pre-season form, who did the best and who did the worst. And then we're going to see how this reflected over the course of the season. Of course, some people have good pre-seasons and good seasons. Some people have bad pre-seasons and bad seasons. But you also get the reverse effect. Anyone who's overtly panicking about it, honestly, it's fake outrage and it's pathetic. Absolutely 100% pathetic. Right, let's move forward into this. Alex Waters here. Thank you very, very much for becoming an Academy member of the Football Terrace. Gem in the house says this bid has to come in the next week. It feels close. It feels too close build up. Reminds me of the Haaland deal last season. I hear you on that, my guy. I hear you on that. I do. Let's go to the first caller of the day, though, on the terrace. We've got Jake to come. We've got Onzo to come. We've got True Red to come. But first, we're going to go to CFC Chats to have his say this morning. What are you saying, buddy? Give me your thoughts on this breaking news.
Hey, first of all, good evening. Yeah, man, this breaking news is amazing. I mean, I was gassed about this last week, man. Honestly, when this comes out, I mean, you guys gotta realize how close it's coming. A lot of people are saying, let's not get too gassed up. Let's not. But, this is the same thing, and it's so close to the same thing that happened last year with Kai Havertz. It's the same prospect. It's the same timing, and I think that this deal is going to happen. I'm going to be very happy when it does. It's just the same thing is the price, and as I said in the statement, it was 130 plus the 20 million add-ons, and that's going to break the Premier League football transfer record. And that's just going to be amazing. Love Sim at the bridge. Hopefully, I'm trying not to get too gassed up, but as I said, this is more evidence coming out, and I really hope it gets done quick.
Yeah, and listen, let's see what happens from here. It's going to be for me, it's going to be a very interesting next couple of weeks now in relation to the transfer window, the transfer market, the Haaland deal. For me, I believe there is a correlation between Man City stepping up their pursuit for Harry Kane and Chelsea kind of triggering the button for this. We always said it was going to take a good few weeks to really get this done. Chelsea have spent the last 3 weeks since the 7th of 3 weeks or so since the 7th of July, putting in smaller bids, offering sort of player plus cash deals, which have all been either via intermediaries or directly rebuffed. I don't think it really matters who says no. They just knows anyway. And they're now getting towards this point, and it's going to be interesting to see when it goes in, and if it does go in, if it's accepted, it's going to break the internet. I say this with your chest. Chelsea Football Club, if they put this bid in, are going to break the internet. Right now, on a scale of 1 to 10, how confident of you that one, the bid goes in, and secondly, that the bid is accepted?
For the bid getting in, I think it's a 10, honestly, because I think 100% Chelsea's going to bid. But for getting accepted, I'm going to go for an 8 to a 9. I'm going to say an 8 at the moment, because Dortmund, they're a bit stingy, but at the same time, that's what they do. Dortmund aren't going to. It'll be stupid for them to reject $130 million and then sell them next season for 75. It would just be so stupid of them. But again, this is football. Dortmund may want to win trophies. They might want to keep him and play 2 strikers, but I'm not sure. But it'll be very, very stupid if they don't accept it. 150 million, if the add-ons are correct and they get the add-ons at the end, is going to be mind-blowing. Like, I'm really shocked now at the price. Imagine if it goes through. How other people will be shocked too.
No, absolutely. I absolutely. I would be staggered if they turned it down. It's going to be it's just interesting. And do you know what's really stand out here? It just if you get him on 300 grand a week, like this report has said, and that's this report. I've heard it was more, but we'll go with this report for now. If you get him for 300 grand a week, it also blows up what the newspapers said 4 or 5 months ago, where they said that he was asking for $500,000 plus a week. It just goes to prove that, again, there's that inflation there, and or maybe Chelsea have managed to negotiate down and whatnot. Maybe we don't know how they've done that, but yeah, it's going to be interesting indeed. Listen, CFC Talks, top man, thanks for coming on the terrace and having your say this morning. Thank you. Anyone who wants to phone up and talk about this deal, the Varane deal, the Kane deal, any transfer you want, any opinion you want, pre-season panic. Ooh, we lost a pre-season game. The world's ending. Fake outrage. I think one of our new emojis has got to be a fake outrage emoji. And we've got to create our own fake outrage meme as well. We've got to get it done, because the fake anger I see from fans, and not just Man United fans, all fans, when their teams lose a pre-season game. Do you know what it did show me yesterday, though? Is that all these knobheads who think that Man United should be playing 5, 6, 7 youth players at a time. Oh, no. It just never works. Jake Miller's with us now. Welcome back to the terrace, mate. What are you saying, buddy?
All right, mate. How you doing? First off, I think I've said this a couple of times. Like, well done on breaking the news first. I think you broke it about 2 days into July, so that is some going, and you're going to make a serious reputation for yourself. I don't think it's going to be long now until the bid goes in. Marlon to Dortmund is a big step forward. I think about a week after we see the pictures of him signing the contract. That'll be when that bid's going to go in.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. I mean, a lot of people are saying that he's being bought to play alongside Haaland, which, again, I always take this information and say fair. I'm so okay if that's your opinion, if that's what's being said. I understand that. Yeah, maybe over the course of this next week, as you say, it's going to be very, very interesting. I mean, what I will say is, if people like Fabrizio are going to be getting tweets every 5 minutes and any news, any updates on that. Some journalist, I didn't know who he was actually. It wasn't a journalist. He's head of like Man United social media and stuff. He said, "Thank you, Sancho, for signing. You stopped this from happening." And he was showing like this trail. If you put his app in and Sancho update, the amount of people a day that tweeted him any Sancho update, it was actually sickening. It was honestly,
it's ridiculous. I don't understand how people have the time to do it. So I mean, nobody on football Twitter has patience. It's crazy. Chelsea fans especially, the amount of people I've had to tell over the past week or two, just have some patience. This is not some 20 million signing that's going to take a week. This is one of the biggest transfers in football history. It's going to take some doing. It's not that easy.
Do you know why it's so big as well? And I think people disregard this element so much. They need to say it in the right way. this changes every single transfer that Chelsea or any other of the big six teams does again for a world-class football player. It doesn't break football, it breaks the barriers of football. So I want to phrase it in the right way. I was talking to my dad about this yesterday. We talked about the Spurs situation as well. Obviously, he's a Spurs fan, and these are the modern day Trevor Francis deals. There was the first player was Trevor Francis who broke £1 million. That was looked at as, oh my God, this is what this deal is. Because every single time now, a prolific, top-class, world-class striker is on sale to a Premier League club, the Haaland and potentially the Harry Kane deals become the benchmarks. So there's a lot of work that goes into this because Chelsea have to, before they think of anything else, they have to work out whether they want to be the team to do that, because it will impact them and everybody else later on down the line. You know, when in 5 years' time, when you go in for there's another up-and-coming top striker, you know it's costing 150 to 200 million pound because that marker has been set. And I'm telling you now, the lesser teams in the Premier League, who may be developing some really tidy youngsters right now, must be sitting there, you know,
rubbing their hands together.
Everton must be thinking Dominic Calvert-Lewin, you know, he's whatever he's worth today. If Haaland gets signed for 150, Dominic Calvert-Lewin's valuation goes up by 30-40 million pounds. It's as simple as that. So it's such a big move. It was always going to take time. How confident are you? That's the question I want to ask people today. It's the big question, is that Dortmund will accept this deal and he becomes a Chelsea player this summer?
Quite. I won't say very because I don't want to look like I'm getting on my face, but I'm quite confident. And I think Chelsea are as well, because you will not see Chelsea going in and doing all this work if they are not feeling confident that Dortmund will accept it. If it was no from the start, Chelsea would have moved on to Lukaku, they would have moved on to another alternative, but they've been going and going, and the news has been coming and coming. And I just don't think they'd be putting in that much work if they weren't confident that it was going to happen.
Mate, and I think that's very, very fair. One thing I'll always say about Chelsea Football Club, and I stand by this, you know, for anyone who's new to the Terrace right now, just tuning into my channel for the first day, by the way, make sure you're subscribing. Everybody's turning on those. But amount of people that message me, if they go, I can't believe I've been watching you for 2 years and I wasn't even subscribed. So subscribe now, turn on the bell notification. I'm a Man United fan, but I don't throw salt. I don't throw banter when it isn't necessary. And I'll say this with chest about Chelsea. You don't piss fart about. You know, you haven't waited this long in the summer because you're dragging your feet over Haaland. You've been working on it. You've been spinning some other plates. Yes, you know, a lot of people telling me I've been pushing away that the Lewandowski news saying can't be true, and a lot of top Chelsea people keep telling me, no, listen, there is definitely touching base there. Lukaku touching base there. But you've been working on this deal because you believed it to have been possible. Chelsea are no mugs in this market. You know, you guys signed a top Premier League midfielder from Manchester United days after he signed for us because you were confident he'd change his mind. That should tell you all you need to know about Roman's era at Chelsea, that you can sign players from rival clubs that have just signed for rival clubs. When you know, you know. You know, you did it with Iron Robin. He was in the bag for Man United. You took him away. Pedro was a Man United player. You took him away. Willian was sitting on the medical table at Tottenham. And he's medical at Tottenham. But
Marina's ruthless, man.
Ruthless, but you're ruthless. The reason that Chelsea look more ruthless than they probably actually are is because they only go for players they know are going to say. They're a bit like, you ever seen the film A Few Good Men with Tom Cruise?
Oh, yeah.
So he's a lawyer and he goes to trial in the end. But in the film, he's this lawyer that does plea bargains. And he's looked at as being this amazing lawyer. He never loses because he only takes cases to court that he knows he'll win, and he plea bargains all the others off. So he's got 100% record. Chelsea are a bit like that in the transfer market. It's, can we sign Sancho? No. Then let's not go. We want to keep our record. We don't want to lose anyone.
It's like you look at Spurs with Koundé. They go to Sevilla and this bid gets accepted, and then Koundé's like, "What? I don't want to play for you." Like, you'd never catch someone like Chelsea doing that. It just doesn't happen.
No, never ever at all, mate. Listen, Jake, first of all, I want to say thank you for tweeting out on Twitter earlier on today and giving myself that sort of my flowers for this story. I haven't ever said it go through. I haven't said it's 100% guaranteed, but the bid and the monetaries behind it are what I was told about. So thank you very much for shouting it out today, mate. It means a great deal. People don't do it, and it meant a great deal that you did. So thank you.
No worries, mate. Catch you in a bit.
Take care of yourself. Cheers, Jake. Thank you very much indeed. A lot of people asking about Harry Kane in the comments section as well. So a quick update on Harry Kane situation. I had it confirmed to me yesterday, 100%, that Alistair Gold said it. I had someone else confirm it to me. It was Harry Kane's camp that leaked that story to the Sun a few days ago. They believe that a bid well into the £100 million marks will get accepted. They have accepted or agreed to what the personal terms would be. They're going to be no problem. £400,000 a week is what I was told yesterday will be the contract for Harry Kane to join Manchester City next year. We'll go into that story a little bit more later on. Of course, we're focusing now on this big breaking news today. If you've just tuned into the Terrace, Chelsea have advanced their talks in their pursuit of Haaland. A brand new £30 million bid will be offered as per us on the 7th of July, as per the Football Insider 2 days ago, as per CFC news page, via the credible and the brilliant Simon Phillips, that a 130 bid is going to go in. If that is turned down, Chelsea will go up to £150 million, but the new £20 million will be made up of performance-related add-ons and bonuses. We want to take your calls now. The link to phone in via StreamYard is pinned to our live comment section. So smash that. We're only on 400 likes. We're nearly 2,000 people watching. That's a madness to the Terrace. Hit that like button now. Please subscribe to our channel. Alexander here in the comments says, love your work, Terry. Fab's post last night was completely random, so surely he knows something is going on as well. I think that could very much be the case. Pedro Neto says Chelsea are dead food. Winning the Champions League gave them a boost. Maria here says, yep, it's his brother trying to push it through, as she said. Jonathan Reed says, what about Varane? This worries me now. Jonathan, don't worry about the Varane situation. We're going live with that later on today. Legitimately, Man United are now looking into other signings. There's news that's going to start to break a bit more in the next 24 hours about a couple of midfield players we're chasing. United are very, very comfortable in the Varane situation. It's all about Real Madrid at this point. Alexander here, one of our members, says, Terry, Chelsea, Haaland to Chelsea would make us Premier League favourites in your opinion. I have to say yes. As it stands right now, I cannot look beyond Chelsea winning the Premier League if Haaland joins. The greatest young goal scorer in the history of European football joining Chelsea Football Club is a game changer. And I'll say that with chest. You remember how you know what I say about Sancho being the best young creator in the history of European football? You know, it's how I don't change my tune or my mantra or my morals, my integrity because it's another club. There has been no greater young striker in the history of European football than Haaland. His ability, his performances, and his goal return are proof in that pudding. Chelsea are signing maybe a player with the potential to become the greatest goal scorer that Europe has ever seen. Now, listen, he's got a long way to go to start catching the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo, the likes of Lionel Messi, but he's set the base and the foundation. It's such an exciting deal for Chelsea to bring forward. It truly is. If you're new to the Football Terrace, subscribe now. We're going to delve into some more of your calls now. We've got Ziad to come. We've got Onzo, as I mentioned. But first, we're going to go to Eric Blue. Eric Blue's on the Football Terrace. What are you saying, Eric?
Yo, Terry. Morning. Yeah, I'm just really excited that there seems to be some movement again. This might be the biggest transfer in history. I'm just really looking forward to it finally happening. Hopefully. If I think what you said was interesting about Chelsea being the title favorites, but I feel like if Kane signs, that might be difficult. I think that would be huge. I wanted to ask you though. Some people were saying some people were saying that Haaland he might struggle against low block teams that just sit back and defend. What do you think about that?
No, because he isn't going into Chelsea to be the creator. Chelsea Football Club don't need a striker, in my opinion, who creates a lot of his own chances. They're not even strikers. They don't need a Lionel Messi that's going to open teams up and be the goal scorer. Chelsea Football Club need a goal scorer. You already have the creativity because you opened up teams last year, especially under Thomas Tuchel. The problem you had is that your attackers and your attacking midfielders are just not prolific enough. So they miss too many gilt edges and golden chances. If you put Haaland in Timo Werner's openings in positions last year, he buries 30, 40 goals for you. Haaland also has the ability, the same very unique, finite ability that in the current game, only Kane and Lewandowski have, where he will score you 10, 12 goals a season that are 25, not even half chances, they're 25% chances, where he'll be in an angle of the box and you think, don't shoot from there, you're not going to score, and he does. And it's why Harry Kane's numbers are so good. It's why Lewandowski's numbers are so good. By the way, the same as peak Ronaldo and peak Messi, they just scored goals from angles and positions that you shouldn't be able to score from, because Haaland's got this ability to place the ball, but with a blast power. Young Mason Greenwood looks like he might be developing that as well. And goal scorers like that can put the ball into the bottom corner, but with so much velocity and speed, are always going to score goals. So people that are shouting out that he's going to struggle against low blocks, legitimately, it's the biggest nonsense I've ever seen in my life. If Chelsea weren't breaking down teams with low blocks, then maybe you've got a point, but you were. So for me, if I'm a Chelsea fan, I would laugh at that bitterness. I wouldn't even pay any attention at all.
No,
It's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
The funny thing is that this it's Chelsea fans who are saying this stuff to me, so that's why I thought I would ask you about it.
I bet they're the same Chelsea fans that are sad that Tammy's leaving because he's a youth player.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I have a question. You're a United fan, so I think Varane will come to United. So I was wondering, I wanted to challenge what you said about Varane and Maguire being the best partnership. I think you can't overlook Man City. You can't overlook Chelsea. Maybe Liverpool if Maguire Van Dijk becomes as good as he was before he got injured. But it should be interesting to see who the best partnership is. But I think Varane would be a really good, very good signing for United. So yeah, that would be good.
No doubt about it, he will be, my friend. Listen, Eric, great call, mate. Thank you for coming on the terrace this morning and having your say. Thank you very, very much indeed. Top man. I want to say a big thank you. Over 10 new members joined the Football Terrace yesterday. It's always a very humbling experience for me to have people want to become members of the Football Terrace. If you do want to join and become a member from as little as 99p per month, the link is in our live comment section right now or in our description below to become a member. Also, if you never want to miss a Football Terrace notification again, if you go into our description below, we have a brand new Telegram group. No spam. No one gets hold of your number. No one's going to be able to message you in there. It's purely for Football Terrace notifications. We've gained over 100 new subscribers during this stream already, which is just breathtaking to me. We'd love you to become members, and we'd love you right now to join the notification group. We cover all of the top 6 in the Premier League, match reactions, transfer news, and under our new partnership with Snack Media, some of the new shows that we're developing for you at our brand new studio location, Unit 7 in North London. We're going places next year. We're very, very excited, and we want you to be part of it. We've still got Onzo and Ziad to come. We've got Matt to come. But first, I've got to go to Kai. Kai's in the house. Morning, mate. How are you?
Morning. I'm good. Had a good weekend. But hey, Chelsea, Haaland, if this happens, Marina, if you listen to this, if you do this, if you get Haaland to Chelsea, I will forgive you for Drinkwater and Zappacosta. I swear. I will forgive you for these guys actually coming for Chelsea. But I'm gassed if it actually happens, because the guy who released it, he has like kind of mixed history, but he's pretty spot on with the, like he predicted the Havertz thing before it happened as well. So let's see. If we get Haaland, I don't know what I'll do, but I'll be a happy guy, man. I'll be overjoyed, because that's all we need, and I don't care if we don't sign anybody else.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the CFC news page, the fact that Simon Phillips, like when me and Simon Phillips first started speaking, I'm not going to say what he was asking me, but he was asking me about where I got news from. Like, he checks in on the credibility, and for him to share your stuff, he's confident within it. As an example, ironically, quite a lot of the Chelsea accounts now are using Pete and are using Dean that we use on the terrace as well. Yeah. But it's slightly different information from the CFC news page to me in terms of stuff about the breakdown of the bonuses and the wages. But too many outlets from different areas are coming up with the same conclusion about the overall cost, what the bid's going to look like. Yeah. Will Dortmund accept it? That's the big thing now, isn't it? Whether or not Dortmund accept it. Can I ask you this question, though? You sound like you're going to be happy. How confident will you be of lifting that Premier League title if you sign him? And what is the expectation of winning the Premier League? Do you believe that you should be made the outright favourites? Do you still think City should be considered favourites as the defending champions? What would your take on that be, mate?
You know what? It's never like you'll never be a clear favorite while City exists. City, as rich as Abramovich is, City is just like has the finance of the whole country. You know how those princes in the Emirates and all that work. So, but I would be confident because we have Tuchel, we have Havertz, who's looking like he gained a lot of confidence since the Champions League final. So, you know what? It's all Chelsea needs. I don't think if we don't sign any other players, it's all we need is that one Haaland signing who's going to take us to the next level. Because for us to go from Giroud and that youth Peter Crouch, Tammy Abraham to somebody like Haaland, it's next level. It's next level. I can't wait. And the big accounts, a lot of them predicted things wrong. A lot of them wanted Tammy to stay. A lot of them wanted Lampard to stay. So their opinions aren't that relevant, Terry. It's not for me.
No, I kind of get. I mean, what did you make of the last caller that said that there are some Chelsea fans that are panicking about Haaland? They don't think he can play against low blocks and blah blah blah. I mean, why do you think some Chelsea fans are negative about this potential signing?
Because a lot of them wanted Tammy to work out. A lot of them wanted this to be a little Make-A-Wish organization. Where we just develop kids and we just keep them just keep a happy camp and everybody's happy. They forgot what Chelsea is about. Chelsea since Roma came in was about winning trophies. And all of a sudden when Lampard came in, all of them start caring about the youth. They start caring about that stuff. But if you remember before Lampard, have you ever heard a Chelsea fan talk about any kids other than Goldberg? I mean, actual Chelsea fans. None of them even knew any of the youth players. Now all of a sudden they're remembering all of them. They act like they watched them play, but hey, if you don't want Haaland at Chelsea, I don't know what's wrong with you, because this guy, he elevates Chelsea to the next level, and I would be gassed if he comes. I would be gassed if he comes.
No, I totally agree, mate. Listen, Kai, thanks for your call, mate, and coming on the show. Appreciate it, brother. Take care, mate. Thank you. Top man. We have a super chat here from Callum, who says, people who say he will struggle against the low blocks are forgetting that he is big and you can just stick it on his head. Don't need to send him in behind. Well, he runs like a weirdo. We have to be honest. Like the Haaland run is weird. Like it's proper sort of like it's cut. Do you know what I mean? He looks like a spike, like his legs are like this. His legs literally like this, and his arms are like. He looks like a weirdo when he runs, but he's got some speed there, right? He ain't as slow and cumbersome as maybe a 6 foot plus. Maybe I think we have this there's always biases we put towards football players. If you're short on the wing, you must be quick. I think if you're over 6 foot, blonde, and from sort of Norway or Sweden or Denmark, you're looked at as cumbersome and slow, but he really isn't. He's got good technique. He can hold the ball up. You can go long to him at times if you need to. Overall, a very, very talented football player indeed. Mickey, thank you very much for becoming an official member of the Football Terrace. That means a great deal to us. Make sure that like button is being smashed this morning, people. Please get that done. Let's do some more of these comments before we do some more calls. Terry, do you think Haaland is capable of breaking the Premier League goal scoring record in his first season? Yes. Said it already. If he stays fit, he breaks it in 30 games for Chelsea. Breaks it in 30 games for Chelsea. Facts. In my opinion. Some Chelsea fans are just never happy. Jake, that's just football fans in general, honestly. Like yesterday, if Man United would have played their first team, we'd be moaning that we're rushing them back into pre-season too early and we could be injuring them. There's always a group. It's life though, bro. In life, no matter what you do, someone moans. Whatever you do, someone moans. Next on the show, we're going to go to Onzo. Onzo, who do you support, mate?
I support Man United.
Lovely. What do you make of this big breaking Haaland news this morning, my friend?
Literally, I've been trying to call literally the past week, innit? Because I'm kind of confused with a couple of things with the Haaland thing. And firstly, I just want to say, obviously, Haaland is a sick striker. Haaland won't only boost Chelsea's chance of winning. He will boost any team that he joins. But my situation is that, for one, the reason why they signed Dortmund they signed Marlon to go to Dortmund wasn't really to replace Haaland. I believe it's because last season, like, they were struggling and they were on the brink of not qualifying for Champions League because I think Haaland and Sancho was injured at the time. So I believe they bought they bought Maitland to just boost the attack. And what I've been thinking is that, fair enough, maybe Chelsea might bid for Haaland only because, like, they're literally the only, or one out of like 2 or 3 teams that could afford him. But literally, like, even if they do try to bid, like, let's say 130 plus 20 mil, like, how does this benefit Mino Raiola and his dad? Because Chelsea's just one team. Like, Chelsea's just one team that will say, okay, I'll offer you 300k and for your dad, and then this and that. But then at least next season, let's say next season, now everyone's at the stadiums, United will have money, Barcelona will have money, Real Madrid will have money. Like, literally, there will be more than one team that will have money to actually give to Haaland as well as his dad and to Mino Raiola. So
I think what you're missing out is here next year, what his dad and what his agent can earn is limited to 10% only. So 10% is 10% of the transfer fee. So the maximum they can earn is £6.5 million in a payout. This season it's still uncapped. This season they could earn anything between 15 to 30 million pounds each. Even what they can take from Haaland's wages will be reduced next year. So for his father and for Mino Raiola, it makes more sense for the deal to go through this summer as opposed to next year, because they could potentially earn 20 to 30 million pounds more money from Chelsea and or Borussia Dortmund collectively. So for me, based on what I've read everywhere, it makes more sense for everybody. Haaland gets this move. I mean, the only person that might want to wait till next year is Haaland, but he's not fast. What you've got to remember about Haaland isn't set. He isn't like Bruno Fernandes, who only wanted to go to Man United. He isn't like I'm trying to think of a player now who only wanted to. Like, he isn't like Declan Rice that's desperate to join Chelsea. Haaland's very openly stated any of the legacy clubs. Literally would join if Man United, he'd join Chelsea, he'd join Liverpool, he'd join Bayern, Barca, maybe not Bayern actually, he said Bayern because of the respect to Dortmund. He would join Barca, he'd join Real Madrid. He'd join any of them teams. His father did a European tour. So for him, it doesn't matter. For his dad and his agent, they can earn more money this year than next. For Dortmund, they're more than doubling the money they're going to earn on this player by selling him this summer. It just makes all the sense in the world to do it now. But listen, great call, good challenge though, mate. I really appreciate that, Onzo. You take big man. Thank you. Next up on the show, Ziad's here. Ziad's a Chelsea fan. Give me your thoughts, bro.
Yeah, man. Finally. I think we're getting moving now. We're finally going to put that bid in, and it's not only about this bid. It's a big bid, and I'm confident Dortmund will accept this, because I've said this many times. It's a lot of money in terms of 130 million. Dortmund will not get anywhere near it next season because of the release clause, and they're just going to make it easy for the other clubs to get a young world-class striker. And also for Raiola, I think Raiola is pushing this deal now because of the agent the agent fees that he'll get from the deal. So I think it's very, very big news for Chelsea in terms of we're making the bid. Raiola is pushing. Haaland I'm sure would like to join, and it's a bid that I don't think Dortmund are able to reject. And just it's about time really, because I thought we should have put this bid really long time ago, and I don't know what's took it this long. But look, as long as we get this world-class striker, that's what matters. Because if we want to challenge next season, if we want to compete with City, if we want to be up there in the Premier League and Champions League, we need a world-class striker, and Haaland is that. And yeah, man, it just as hopefully we get him. Hopefully it all goes on quick. He can come in, have maybe a small preseason, and then go running into the Premier League, and hopefully we can just compete and win the Premier League, because it's been a long time since we've been up there in terms of the league. And yeah, it's about time we challenge.
I hear you on that, bro. Listen, great call. Top man, Ziad. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you, buddy. We want to thank you, Mark, for this super chat. Says, I know Chelsea fans who prefer and miss going away to Stoke on a Tuesday night and scrapping 1-0 89-minute winners, then winning 4-0 all the time. The difference in fans in social media age is massive. Well, we saw that yesterday with Genie Wijnaldum's comments, and we are going to be bringing back panel shows from next week. I've got to organise them, but they're coming back where we're going to talk more current affairs in football as well. And I want to say about Genie Wijnaldum, I've always felt there's a difference. Like, match-going fans are completely different to social media and armchair fans in terms of, you listen to what Saeed said the other day. No matter what he says on social media, when he's in that stadium, he gives his full support to all of those players during the game. Because you're there, you're encouraging them to move on. And that's very, very honourable of all the fans that do that. You know, the Kop and Anfield made Genie Wijnaldum feel loved and feel welcome and feel special every single day. Social media fans have abused the living daylights out of him. And what really troubled me yesterday is one of England's greatest talents in the past 10 years has been Raheem Sterling. In fact, he's been one of our best talents of the last 25 years. People like Jamie Carragher, who I have a lot of respect for as a pundit, a lot of respect for as a football player. He was one of the first people to attack Raheem Sterling. I think his words were, "It makes me sick to my stomach to see a player like Raheem Sterling challenging Liverpool." In fact, I actually put the quote out of what he said yesterday because I want to get this right. His words exactly were, a 20-year-old kid to be taking on Liverpool Football Club over a contract to the pit of my stomach, that just winds me up. It angers me. He went on to say, the lad is from London and he obviously wants to go back home. That wasn't true. He didn't go back home. It might not be about money. It might be about trophies or playing in the Champions League. If it was about trophies, he then goes on to say, if it's about trophies, Liverpool Football Club had a chance to win trophies last year and in the FA Cup semi-final against them. Where was Sterling? So he's basically slagging Sterling off, saying Sterling was nowhere and implying it was all about money. Jamie Carragher was one of the first people to make Raheem Sterling's exit from Liverpool be about money and not about trying to create legacy. And what he has done at Manchester City, barring winning a Champions League, has been phenomenal. The goals that he's scored, the goals that he's created, the achievements that Man City have made, it's him as an integral part is huge. And yes, he's been compensated financially for it, and absolutely he should be. The way Jamie Carragher reacted yesterday to and what he said about Genie Wijnaldum, it was very similar. It was, shut up, mate. The abuse and the nastiness you took online had nothing to do with you leaving. It was all about money. And I think the way we dismiss football players when they tell us that the online abuse, not criticism, abuse gets to them and upsets them, is something we need to address as a football fraternity, a football group. It doesn't matter if you're a Chelsea fan and you see a Liverpool player being abused by his own, we should all step up and say something. There's one thing saying, Rashford had a terrible game today. He was awful. Crap. When it starts going into continual swearing, pejoratives, name calling, remember, one of the biggest Man United content creators out there has openly said on a number of times on socials and tweeted this a number of times that Rashford gets abused because he's always doing PR bullshit. Literally victim blaming all the time. And we've got to stop this as fans and listen to what's being said. Granit Xhaka swearing at his own supporters. He got abused for that. These supporters were wishing cancer on his wife. And him swearing at his own supporters was seen by the football world. I remember listening to things like Talk Sport going, yeah, no way back for it. They wanted his wife to get cancer. That's the issue. Legit. What would you rather in life? Someone tell you to fuck off or someone wish cancer on your wife or your kids? Get the fuck out of here. Honest to God, it makes me sick to the pit of my stomach that we just watch the abuse. The only time we care about the abuse is when it becomes sexist or racist. The reason that so much racist and sexist abuse happens online is because we create an environment where abuse is acceptable. And then people push the envelope too far. But my view is it's already gone too far. When the abuse is allowed to happen unchecked, unchallenged, on a regular basis. And this is where people say, I'm struggling because I'm being abused online. It's getting to me. Shut up. You're a millionaire. Get on with it. You create an environment that enables those nasty, thuggish scumbags who abuse to push on to that next level, the next level up from that, which is racist abuse. And they go, oh, I can't believe, where's this come from? Why is it happening? because you've allowed the bacteria to spread and to feel welcome and to feel safe. Be ashamed of yourselves. Be ashamed of yourselves. Be ashamed of yourselves. Ashamed of yourselves. There's a difference between criticism and abuse. If you don't know where that line is, you need Jesus. You need Allah. You need Buddha. You need help. You need real help. And I feel sorry for you. I feel sorry for you. Next caller, we're going to go to Matt. Matt's a Man United fan. What you saying, mate?
Well, what point? Well made. I don't know. I'm going to follow up on this, but yeah, with Haaland to Chelsea, it sets a precedent for the league. You know, people are going to have to start finding that prolific target man. I think it is coming back again, isn't it? You know, we've had the quick strikers going behind. We're probably going to go back to having that target man. You know, hit the ball up to them, take it in, and spread it out wide. And it's going to be a different. Obviously, football's always changing, so things will change. You know, false nines and whatnot. It's different, but I think, you know, the fact that Chelsea are going in for this deal and they're going to make this bid, I think it's, you know, it's the right move for Chelsea as well. It's the right kind of striker they need. It's prolific, it's quick, which, you know, it all adds up to being a proper Prem striker. And I think, yeah, it's a fantastic deal if they get it done.
Yeah, it absolutely will. It absolutely will be. I think from my point of view, like I said before, if Chelsea sign Haaland, it's beyond. It's a game changer from a business standpoint, transfer standpoint, and how they're going to perform next season in the league. It changes absolutely everything for all of us. And as happy as I've been with Man United's situation, it changes things. As happy as I've been with, as encouraged as I am by Arsenal's approaches so far this summer, if I'm being neutral, this just blows it out the water. And Chelsea are in this, again, you always got to look at transfer windows as it's not about the quality or the volume of player you sign. It's what do those signings do for your team, for your squad. And they're absolutely huge, mate. They're absolutely massive.
And I mean, you'd like to think United are future-proofed a little bit. It is wishful thinking that the youth players are going to come through and be, you know, stowaway starters. You know, Mason Greenwood he almost sets an expectation that now United players, all the youth players, can go straight into the first team and play at a level that he can. But he's clearly going to be clearly a talented player. And you look at the players that played yesterday, and you know, the youth players were the better ones out of all the team. But we've got, you know, United have got two strikers developing in the under 23s or coming into the first team that you can say they got potential there, but they're not. Again, it's wishful thinking to say, yeah, they're definitely going to be a world-class striker because no one knows yet. They're too young. And at the age that Haaland's at,
yeah, I mean, and exactly. And Haaland, though, he's always delivering at a world-class level for us to know. Like, what is the most encouraging thing about Haaland is the attitude and the way he approaches things. In my view, we just know that he's going to get better, and he isn't going to suddenly go to Chelsea, put his feet up, start putting on weight, and not training hard to go to the. I think, you know what's interesting? Eden Hazard was one of the most technically gifted, and I think probably the player with the most amount of ability that Chelsea have ever had in their history. That's my view. But I don't think he has the same appetite to be the best as Haaland's going to bring. So Haaland isn't technically as good, but I think Haaland I think he'll stay at Chelsea for 4 to 5 years. And in that 4 to 5 years, he'll be loved by Chelsea fans more than they love Eden Hazard, because what they'll see with him is amazing ability coupled with the determination to take him and his team to the top and fight. And there's a difference, and it builds almost like a different kind of love and affection. So it's going to be an amazing signing for them. Matt, thank you for coming on and having your
thanks for having me on,
mate. Thank you much indeed. Thank you. Comment here. I need to address this. It says, Terry, you can't appear to care about kids when you would happily go after someone's job for a tweet. That would affect their kids. Hypocritical. So it isn't in any way, shape, or form. Of course, I care about the well-being of people's family and children. But by that logic, my friend, if somebody commits a crime, you're telling me they should get away with it if they have children. So if somebody racially abuses, I'm going to throw KJ with a tweet and says, you XX, they've broken the law. They're not only a racist, they're also a criminal. They deserve to be punished for that crime that they have committed. That illegal act they have committed, they deserve to be punished. If that means they lose their job because of an illegal crime they've committed, that doesn't mean that me, the police, the government doesn't care about children. It doesn't mean suddenly, oh, Terry, you can't be upset about the abuse of children and people wishing cancer on someone's kids if you'd happily see a criminal lose his job. How does that make any sense? The equivalence there is absolutely horrendous. It's horrendous. The person who doesn't care about his kids in this circumstance is the racist criminal abusing people online, not me. If someone breaks into my house today and they get arrested and they lose their job because they broke into my house and I prosecute, that isn't me not caring about their children. It's me trying to stop somebody from burgling and breaking into other people's houses. That person has damaged their child, not me. Absolutely. I have to say this, my friend. That is the most horrendous, warped, incorrect comment I've ever seen in my life. Absolutely horrendous. Horrendous. Next caller, True Red's now with us. What you saying, True Red?
Hi, Terry.
How you doing?
Good, man. Honestly, I can't believe the last comment you just read out. Absolutely makes no sense, by the way. So I wanted to talk about this Haaland thing. Yeah, of course, it would be a good deal for Chelsea, but interesting question to Chelsea fans, because when I look at Chelsea, I think they need to sort out their defense more than their attack, in my opinion. They signed a lot of attackers last season, and if you look at their defense, they probably have two 30-year-olds or 32, and then you have Thiago Silva, who's turning 37 in September, if I'm not mistaken. Look, you referenced a few good men earlier on. In the beautiful words of Colonel Jessel, you can handle the truth, Chelsea fans. He's not coming.
Why is he not coming?
Well, first of all, there's no reason why we should believe because Chelsea offer 150 or 160 million that Dortmund will turn it down. We've had the examples of Jadon Sancho. Dortmund have proven that they are willing to keep a player and take a loss if it helps the club. And from this side where I am, I'm in Stuttgart right now, it's still the same story. Erling Haaland has said he's committed to Dortmund. If anything, Mino Raiola is the one who's trying to push a move because he benefits more if he makes the move this season. And his father, Erling Haaland's father, that is, benefit more. But Erling Haaland himself doesn't have any reason to say, okay, I'm just going to hang Dortmund to dry and go to Chelsea. Whether he moves this season or next season, he still benefits massively. So for Erling Haaland, it doesn't make sense. For Dortmund, also, it doesn't make sense for them to release him this season because they clearly say they want to challenge Bayern Munich all the way this season for the title. So that wouldn't make sense. They just got a new manager. That wouldn't make sense for him. So in a larger scale, for Dortmund as a football club, it doesn't make sense to sell Erling Haaland. And I don't think it's going to come. And actually, I think it's highly likely that we'll have a bidding war between Man United, Real Madrid, and Chelsea in January for Erling Haaland. That's what I think. Yeah.
I mean, it's an interesting take there. It doesn't make sense, though.
But doesn't make sense.
How is there going to be a bidding war in January? Why would that make any sense to Dortmund?
Because from January, basically, and that's when they have not from January, but from next year, 2022, there's the release clause, right? It's
there will be no bidding war. They'll all just bid.
No, listen to it. Yeah. So that's why I say January, because the release clause is effective from next year, I think around May. So the reason you have a bidding...
Hang on a minute, though, but that undoes your first point, though.
No, but I'm explaining it. The reason you have a bidding war. I'm trying to explain why you'd have a bidding war in January.
Yeah, go on. Go on. Please make it make sense.
Okay, so the reason you'd have a bidding war in January is because if there's a release clause of about 70 million, right? A club like Manchester United can then say, well, look, instead of you guys losing him on the release clause for 70 million, hey, we're offering you something like 130 before the release clause comes in. Or we're offering you 100 before the release clause comes in. And Chelsea will be like, oh, no, we offer you 110. And another club will be like, we offer you this. And then Dortmund will be like, no, we're not going to sell. We're going to wait for the release clause. That doesn't make sense. If it's in January already, Dortmund can make a deal for the end of for the end of the season.
Stop. So why would they do a deal for 110 in January, but not 150 now, which is 40 million pounds
Because
more?
you get to have him for a full season, Terry. You're not listening.
No.
You get to have him for a full season.
Wait. Your first point was they're not going to sell him because they want to compete with Bayern Munich.
Exactly.
Just to sell him halfway through the season and not compete with Bayern Munich.
No, you sell him in January. You can make a deal in January, but not sell him in January. You know this.
No club is going to do that. No club is going to give you 110 in January to sign him in the summer when you can get him for 65 million. Who would do that?
But for a player like Erling Haaland, you do.
No, you just wait till the summer. No, you just wait till the summer.
If you wait
Why
till
would
the
you
summer,
do that?
if you wait till the summer, then you have a release clause. I love this. If you wait till the summer and there's a release clause of 70 million, you're gonna have to challenge 5 other clubs. And like you said,
That's logical.
That's
Whoa. That's logical. Then Dortmund, then why would Dortmund not just do that now with Chelsea and say 150 now? Then you'll guarantee him next year. Same difference, like loaning him back for a year.
Okay, yeah, that's true. That's fair.
For 150. If Dortmund, listen, mate, if Dortmund are gonna do that, they do it now for 150, not in Jan for 110. It makes no sense.
For 150 now, it would make sense if they say, okay, we sell him to you for 150 now, and then you get him next year. That doesn't make sense.
But no one's going to do that. If you're paying extra for Haaland, there is the element of
how did Chelsea do the Ziyech deal?
No, but do you know why Chelsea? But Ziyech's situation is very, very different indeed to Haaland because of who Haaland is. The thing is, Chelsea don't need to whack 150 on the player now. If Chelsea have got 150 to give him now, and nobody else has got 150, right? Otherwise, they'd all be doing it.
Yeah.
Chelsea can just offer that to the player. So, like 65 million to Dortmund in the summer, and Chelsea will just smash everybody's salaries by going, do you know what? We'll pay 800, 900 grand a week. It's still going to cost Chelsea the same amount of money over the period because they're saving on the what you've said, my friend. I'll be honest with you, Russell. I'll be honest with you. It's like you're clutching at straws to convince yourself that Chelsea can't get this deal done. That's how it sounds, bro.
You're not arguing my point, though. You're not saying anything against what I'm saying. Because I'm saying if you have a player like...
I definitely argued against your point.
Maybe English is not my thing. But listen to what I'm saying. Right now, Erling Haaland, starting next year, he'll have a release clause. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, fine. Why I'm saying Dortmund wouldn't sell Haaland right now is the same situation with Jadon Sancho. They are willing to take, say, Chelsea are offering like what you're saying, 170 million. They are willing to say, hey, we'll take at least 100 million next year after we've after we've had him for at least a year at the club to challenge Bayern Munich. Now, why I brought in the January issue is because for a player like Haaland, who's hot on the market, and like you said, and I agree with you, he would go to any club. It doesn't make sense for a club like Real Madrid or Man United to wait for the release clause instead of saying, hey, on top of the release clause, we'll put about 30 million and we're bidding for him in January.
That's what Chelsea are doing now.
No, Chelsea are trying to buy him right now. They want him to come to Chelsea.
It's the same difference. It still doesn't make sense, right? So let's just say it doesn't.
Ziyech was bought in January and he still played for Ajax, bro.
Yes, that's a different situation. You didn't have, it's a false equivalence. Did Ziyech, answer me this question. Did Ziyech have his agent do a European tour to all the biggest clubs in Europe? All the biggest clubs in Europe say they're willing to buy him. Did that happen?
No, which is even better for Haaland because he's got all other clubs who want to sign him.
Yes, I understand that, but your logic is flawed. It makes no... whatever you're doing, can you? The noise is doing my ears in. Yeah. It doesn't make any sense what you're talking about. I understand the point you're trying to make, but they are not going to sell him in January for less than they can get for him now. They'll wait until the summer. They'll wait until the summer. The summer is done. For Dortmund, that means they make less money. It means they make less money. I understand that could happen in January. You have teams come in again to try and do a deal then and try and get things resolved and get things done. That makes sense. But the bidding war will mean they earn less than they get from Chelsea right now. So
yeah, but they get the player for a full year.
Maybe their view is, but it's such a hard one to gamble. Maybe it's like, if we're challenging Dortmund, Bayern Munich in the league at that point, and then we get 110 for him, that's better than getting 65 next year, or getting 150 now and not challenging Bayern Munich.
But
where
Dortmund have proved that they do that with Jadon Sancho. They've done it with Aubameyang.
They didn't challenge for the league last year. They nearly missed out on
they
Champions League.
to. Why did they hold on to him?
But this is the point. It's a gamble. What you're thinking,
it is.
It's a gamble that isn't going to pay off for them. But it isn't going to pay off for them. They're not. Then your gamble. They're not going to go for it because it's highly. They're not going to challenge. No one challenges Bayern Munich on a regular occurrence in that league because they have the monopoly. They are stupid to turn down 150 as an amount, 130 guaranteed for it to only go. And by the way, most clubs are not going to do that. By the way, most clubs don't have the money that Chelsea have got right now and that City have got right now. They are just going to wait until the summer and go 65, and they're going to give the additional money to the player. The player won't agree to go in January, and I think that's what you're missing there. But mate, listen, thanks for coming.
Saying the player goes in January.
Honestly, I thought I was
away from the point.
Yeah, Russell, thank you very much. Jake says I'm absolutely dying. Terry's mind is blown. Yeah, it did blow my mind. I've never experienced a call like that in my look. I understand what he's talking about. Is in they can challenge for the title and then in January do a bidding war, do a pre-agreement in January, and still carry on challenging. But I don't think Haaland's going to agree to that. I think Haaland would agree now to be this this record signing, all the panache that comes with it, and to get his move and go to the Prem now. I don't know. I don't know come January if Man United bid 110 and City and Chelsea bid 115 and Real Madrid only bid 100 and get rejected, but Real Madrid are there or thereabouts. He goes, oh, Real Madrid now want me. You know, Real Madrid might say to him, listen, please don't accept their contract offers now. That extra £40 million between the summer price and now will pay to you personally as a signing on fee. And then he just says to Dortmund, no. And then Dortmund's gamble falls away. There's too many factors that could go wrong for Dortmund to go for that. And by the way, they didn't even try to do that with Jadon Sancho. They would have sold him last year if we paid the asking price. If we paid, and the asking price reportedly for Haaland is 150, it's pay the asking price, I don't get him. Come January, I don't see the deal happening. Maybe a pre-agreement, but I doubt it because Haaland will walk away and wait to cash all that money himself the following summer. Smash that like button, please, ladies and gentlemen. Next on the show, Winter Surfers here.
My mind hurts, Terry, after that last call. I don't know what he was talking about. I think I sense fear in his voice that Chelsea are going to put in a bid and possibly get Haaland. But I like what he's trying to do. I like he put his point across, so it's all good. But if it's true, I'm excited. I don't think they'll turn it down. If it is true and they reject it, then I think we should walk away. Because if it's 130 plus the add-ons, then and they turn it down, then I think we've done enough, really. But I think if it is true, I think it might get wrapped up this week, possibly, if it is true.
Who knows, mate? It really could. Rack here says Liverpool kind of did that with Keita. We paid more than RC to confirm the deal a year ahead. I totally get what that guy was saying is plausible. I think it's plausible when you don't have the world and their dog chasing a player. You know, it would make sense, by the way, if Chelsea did a deal now that was 90 million, 800 million, but he goes back on loan for a year essentially at Dortmund, and you guarantee him that would kind of make sense as well. But for a Dortmund's point of view, that extra £50 million is more than they get for qualifying for the Champions League and more they get for winning the league. So from a financial step, when he's going anyway, you just take the most amount of money possible. That's just my view on it. Yeah, but I agree with you, mate. I think it can be wrapped up this week. In terms of your expectations, if you sign Haaland, do you expect to win the league?
I expect to challenge. I expect to challenge. When I say challenge, I mean going into the last 3 games with still a chance to win it. And I expect us to, if it clicks, I do actually expect us to, especially if City don't do anything, if they can't get Kane, then I would put us as title favourites. And that's just because of the expectation.
No, I hear you.
If him and Kai Havertz click, if Haaland and Kai Havertz click, that is going to be something. I don't care who else you put up front with them, like a Werner or a Pulisic or a Mount or something like that. if them two click, it could be devastating.
Yeah, it'll be good. It's going to be good night for everyone, mate. I agree. Winter Surfer, thanks for coming on, mate, and having your say. Top man. Thank you. I'm looking at the poll here. Top man, I love Winter Surfer. The poll here, 76% think Dortmund will accept the bid. That's over 3,000 votes right now on the terrace today, which is amazing. Next caller, we're going to do some quick fire calls here before the end of the show. Nick Toller's here. What are you saying, Nick?
Hey, Terry, man. I'm just so looking forward to this happening. You know, I do think, you know, when signs are like these, you know, not many people are, the word's not out yet. You know, a lot of the tier one sources are quiet, but there's little snippets of information here, there, and everywhere. It's a good sign for us, right? And I do think Dortmund, the thing with Dortmund was they will accept an offer too good to refuse for Erling Haaland. Now, and that offer will probably be around the margins of 150 million pounds, right? That's what they want for him. But if we go on an offer below that, which I don't think we will, they'll obviously reject it. And that's the thing I don't think the other guy could understand, right? You know, what if all this bidding war stuff, we'll just pay Dortmund the cash now and they'll accept that. And I think Erling Haaland will want to come to Chelsea to build upon the project that we are creating here at Chelsea Football Club, right? Because let's be real, at Dortmund, he's probably going to have another season of finishing second or third because Bayern just picked the best manager in the league from Leipzig and one of their best players in Upamecano. So he's not realistically going to challenge for anything at Dortmund this season or the upcoming season, sorry. So why would he want to stay? You know, he could come to Chelsea, win silverware. We'll challenge for the Premier League for sure. We have to defend our Champions League and win other stuff too, Club World Cup, Super Cup, not all the other stuff. So I think we are a very attractive proposition at the moment right now. And the personal terms won't be an issue because we'll break our wage structure to get him in the club. So it's now just about when the official deal comes in, that'll be the big news and the next stepping stone in this Erling Haaland transfer.
I agree. I agree with a lot of what you said there. Top man, Nick. Thanks for coming on the terrace and having your say. Really appreciate that, bro. Thank you. We're nearly on 1,000 likes, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get it with 250 more likes needed on the show today. Remember, any super chats over the value of £5 go into our prize draw. The end of the month. I've actually been doing all the names on paper, as you like see here, all ready for the draw. I'm going to drop them all here. All ready on the draw here. They're all going into the prize draw for the end of July, which we're closing in on. Lots of names, just like last month. So get your super chats in as well. Please smash that like button. It's important, but subscribe as well. Make sure you're subscribing. Nearly 200 new subscribers gained just during this stream, which is absolutely amazing. So a massive thank you to each and every single person that has done that for us today. Next caller we're going to is going to be Jamie Mason. Jamie, welcome back to the terrace. What are you saying, mate?
Hey, sorry, can you hear me, mate?
Yeah, perfect. What's on your mind? What do you want to say about Haaland to Chelsea?
Just by like hearing just like the previous few callers and that, I think this is a oh, sorry about that. Judging by like what everyone's saying and that, I completely agree. I don't know what the other caller was talking about. Oh, Haaland, why would he go to Chelsea? All that nonsense, what he was spouting about. Oh, Chelsea can't get the deal done and they'll pay money up front and that. Absolute nonsense. Like, I mean, you're spot on, Taylor, when you say like Dortmund selling club. Like, I mean, they've given us Götze, Lewandowski, Hummels, that's just in their nature, man. I think if Chelsea like pay the money, Dortmund will accept, because given the fact that a lot of the match day revenue that they get from fans generates a lot of their transfers, they'll be stupid to like not accept it, man. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I completely agree with you.
100%. Jamie, thank you very much for coming on and having your say, mate. Top man. Thank you. Next up, Matt is here with us. MH is here. What you saying, bro? You're on mute, brother. You muted yourself.
Sorry, dude. I think I needed time to revert from myself from that one particular caller that you had. My God, it was like pulling teeth. I mean, it's great news. I mean, if I'm going to be honest, it's great news to hear that, we're going in Haaland. Obviously, if it's all part and parcel, it's pretty much what we said about it the previous time that I was on before, that they were going to do installments and add-ons and different other things. I think I'm very confident of Dortmund accepting. It's just the actual bid that will go in that is going to be the sticking point for me. But I can see us challenge. If we do get Haaland, we've got a challenge now. You know, I know we're struggling for the defender situation and possibly another midfielder, but the striking, man, we just need to improve the striking numbers, don't we? Really? So, well,
yeah, and you get in there and you'll get those things done and you'll move those things forward. I think I just feel like those kind of elements. I want to sound respect. Just feel like formality. It just feels like things are moving into like formality area now for Chelsea in relation to this deal. It's just getting some things tied up and done and where you need them to be, and it just feels like it's moving forward in the right direction, really. And it's when you listen to a lot of what the sort of the credible people said about this potential deal just a few short weeks ago, everything just feels like it's, as I say, coming into place, moving in the right direction at the right time. And do you feel like, are you expecting, like with that call from Russell, do you think more and more rival fans are going to get sort of dismissive and frustrated and sort of
they
start,
already are.
breaking football? When do you think those kind of calls are coming?
Oh, they've already started. If not, they're going to be starting when the bid actually officially goes in. I think that, you know, you'll get that anyway. I think that's just rivals. You know, you get it in any field. You get it in any, you know, anything that's competitive. And I think it's going to be like this for quite some time. My worry as well is once this bid goes in, it will then trigger a reaction from Man City, who will go in for Kane, or go for somebody as equally as potent as Haaland. So, you know, it'll be interesting to see. The one thing I wanted to touch on, Terry, was you said about, you know, the people's mental health and different other things. Somebody from a health background anyway, working background, people wouldn't tolerate anything like that. And if you're seen to do some sort of comments like that, you would be dismissed from your role. So, just thought I'd let you know, especially with evidence.
Of course. I mean, yeah, no, absolutely. I think more's got to be done against it, really. And again, what always troubles me the most is you'll get a player like an Arsenal player or a Man United player or a Liverpool player comes out and says that online fans are doing X, Y, and Z and it's damaging me. And the big, powerful influencers from within that community are always. I went and checked yesterday. Can't see any major Liverpool fans really talking about it. I didn't check them all, so some probably have and I haven't seen them. I've seen it before with Xhaka, and no one really talking about it. It's almost like, do you know what? Do I damage? What if a lot of the people abusing the player that's moaning about it are part of my base audience? What if I lose them? And that's what bothers me also. It's that element. I remember going mental at the Man United fan base online for not defending Fellaini when people were wishing cancer and broken legs on him after he signed that 1-year contract extension. It was like, you have to like him, but to not call that out tells me a lot about you as a person. And yeah, it was crazy, mate. But Matt, thank you very much for coming on and having your say. Thanks, really Terry. Appreciate it. Top man. Thank you very much indeed. Let's do some more of your comments. Haaland wants to wait. Don't talk about the club. Okay. It's coming blues is what Jose's got to say here. Let's do some more of your comments. Hi, hello to you on Twitch. Man like Monster says Timo Werner on TFT. Yeah, there we go. He does look a bit like Timo Werner, to be fair. He does, Monster. He does. And I want to say a big thank you to Monster. Monster is one of the only sort of social media content creators who, if he uses news that has been seen first on the terrace, say from Dean or Pete or myself, always pays homage to where it's come from, and that's a respectful thing, bro. But most don't. Even today, like I'm seeing this news come out, and it's sort of like a few people are, Terry broke this first and told us this. It's great. Others are just sort of like ignoring the fact. But look, it is what it is. There's a lot of salty people out there in the world. You always know when you're around good people when they back you like that. So thank you very much indeed. I want to say that publicly now. A few more of these comments before we end this stream today. Ones that are actually talking to us as opposed to anything else. This is Romero. Says City will sign Kane and Grealish now and Haaland next season. He's a City fan. He wants to play for Pep. Listen, this whole he was a fan as a kid thing. Listen, Jadon Sancho, the London boy, grew up a Chelsea fan. Lampard was his idol, but he was desperate to join Manchester United. There's fandom as a kid, and then there's professionalism. And everyone has different views. Haaland doesn't want to join City for any other reason than if City pay him the most amount of money and give him the best offer and show the most amount of interest in him. City have said no to Haaland this summer, and they're going for Harry Kane. with what City are proposing to spend on Jack Grealish and Kane, they could sign Haaland, but they've chosen not to. That will resonate with Haaland. And City, for me, are falling well down his pecking order, even if it goes into next year, because they haven't tried to get him this year when they could have done. And that says a lot. That says an absolute lot. So Chelsea are only giving Dortmund $100 million. Haaland's wage is $20 million a year. And Raiola wants $30 million. Chelsea are low balling. I don't know where you're getting that information about the $100 million. Maybe the first, I don't know. I don't even know what to say to it. I don't know where that's come from, Whizzer. Sounds like a lot of whiz to me. Lots of whiz indeed. Let's have a look at a few more of these comments here. Jamie says, I'm surprised bare people aren't saying I'm a fake Bayern fan. Oh, why? Because you don't have a German accent. Support what you want, bro. But listen, everyone who's tuned in today, a massive thank you to each and every single one of you. You know how much we appreciate it. Please make sure you smash that like button, that you subscribe to the Football Terrace. We've got big Varane news coming later on today for you. Big update around Man United's midfield pursuit as well. Some interesting stuff that's circulating, but we need confirmation on it before we go live. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again soon. Peace.